I am home from one of the country's largest homeschool fairs and I racked up. Let's get into what I got and why I grabbed it. So if you guys are new around here, my name is Lauren. Welcome back to Spoonfull and Jelly, where we make homemade jam. We buy my great-grandparents' property and homeschool our little guy. So I love picture books. I'm pretty sure my husband does too. And we try to add them to unusual topics that people don't even think of. And let's get into one of those right now, which is mathematics. We worked with Singapore math in the beginning of his first grade year and then quickly switched over to Matthew C. So I was able to pick this up. Matter of fact, these two together, which is an old teacher's manual and DVD, I picked this up for $3, and then I was able to get the newer edition of the teacher manual for free. I ordered his workbook while I was at the conference, and so that will work. We're going to stick with what works. Now, this is where picture books come in. Let me introduce you to Math Start if you haven't seen this already. This particular company has all kind of mathematical topics covered in a storybook theme. Right here in the black band tells you what it's focused on, reading a schedule. And it gives a story, in this case all about a rodeo, clown rodeo. And it explains the concept of how to read a schedule. We have a handful of these, probably 6, 7 of them. Another favorite is the Hershey Candy math problems. We have the Twizzlers and shapes. We have the Hershey Kisses counting to... Hershey Kiss subtraction. We have M&M counting to 100. So he's going to love this. I typically will buy a dairy-free chocolate bar and walk through this book and do all the fun games to teach the concepts of weight and measurements. Very fun book. Oh, look, we even get into ounces with chocolate syrup. You guys, if you find these books possibly at a used curriculum sale or Goodwill, grab them for fun. Math analogies. This will be used probably as a morning basket item. I'll go over our morning basket in a different video. And then magical clocks, Roberto's magical clocks. Once it goes over exactly what it means to tell time in the very beginning, then you fast forward and you have some practice with the actual clock that's attached to the book. We do have other clock practices, worksheets. It covers in his textbook, but this makes it more fun. Sometimes you don't want to fill out a worksheet, but if I can get the question answered by using a handheld clock, in this case attached to a book, more the better. So any kind of book like this, doesn't have to be a specific one, but these are picture books that you normally don't see attached to mathematics, but it is. Let's move on to the next core subject. We are a Christian light education family. I tried it for his kindergarten year, loved it. Tried it for first grade year, he did well and I loved it. So on to second grade. So I'll go ahead and show you what I picked up at the fair. All right, so I picked up the whole light unit set for Language Arts 2. All 10 books are in here. Very, very nice. We're so excited to use this. This is an all-encompassing program for the most part. You have spelling. There's penmanship at the bottom if you choose to use that. There's phonics lessons. And there's grammar. Let's see. I guess the sentences. And there's also grammar in here. So everything is in this light unit, these small little workbooks. These workbooks can last you almost 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. It goes up to lesson 15, with lesson 16 being a test practice. There is 2 quizzes and a test that are attached to every little booklet before the child moves on to the next booklet. We love this kind of program. Very simple, less fighting. Now, at first, I was not going to do the reading program. It looked like my son may not enjoy it, but I picked up the actual reader that has, oh goodness, I think it's a dozen stories in here. So I picked up the reader, the workbook that goes to it, and the teacher guide that's attached to it for $5. So I was not going to pass it up. This is meant to only cover 5 light units or 5 of these workbooks. So this is barely 10-12 weeks worth of reading. This is the first grade level, the first year. So this should have been done during his first grade year, but he was not reading at the speed of this book. And let me show you what I mean. So this is pretty much where they expected the child to be about, I think it's about February, March for the school year. And they would have finished this all the way till May. And my son was just not at this speed. He could read the words, but it was quite intimidating for him to see so many words on a page and so many pages to one story. So I decided to not bring this in for first grade, but yet bring it in for second grade. So once he shows some improvement this summer, I'll determine whether to bring this in at the beginning of second grade, wait a couple months, and then bring it in, which have you. So this is definitely for first grade that we'll do in second grade. And here is the second grade version. I do need to pick up the storybook, but for free, I was able to grab the workbooks and the teacher's guides. And I believe the 2 storybooks that go to second grade are about $6 or $8 a piece. So yay! Now let's look at what he will be read to. And so ever since my little guy was like 2 months old, we have read to him every single night. We also read to him during the day or in the morning time. Some of those stories have turned into a love of a particular series, and that is The Magic Tree House. Cam Jansen and some of the what is it called? The Case of Stories. I don't know what their actual title, but I was able to pick up a bunch of those for free. I think I bought 2 of them, and they cost $5. So I got a plethora of books for $5. Let's check those out now. All right, quite quick. This is The Magic Tree House, a night of the new musicians. Civil War on Sunday. We're holding this for another school year. Blizzards of the Blue Moon, High Tide for Heroes. He has another horrible Harry, but this is The Ant and the Invasion. And these are the Case of books I was referencing. He has a couple of these somewhere. The Case of the Scaredy Cats and the Case of the 2 Masked Robbers. Stretch. Frog and Toad Year Round. He has a different Frog and Toad, so this is another version. Cam Jansen. And then for social studies, The Two-Paced Millionaire. We try our best to incorporate games throughout the year in different subjects. So we also picked up Very Silly Sentences. It has a 12-sided die that you roll, and then you could build a funny sentence with it.
And one of them is the banana jumped over the sunflower.
So the point of this is he gets to not only read the words, but then practices penmanship by writing that sentence out. The next one we picked up is by Grammar Tales. This is a story about when to use capitalization. Capitalization is covered in his language arts book, but this is a fun story. Fun stories help these facts stick. And I can also have something catchy to bring up or say, okay, what did a robot say to do? And he can remember when to use a capitalization in his sentence or word. All right, and then hold on. He's dying to show you. I picked this up for free. Monopoly Junior Party, which he has played twice in less than 12 hours. Another free one that I was able to grab was Amazing Mazes. He likes mazes, and this is a fun workbook for free to get it all accomplished. So the last bit on the core that we will be working through is Draw Right Now. He used Draw Right Now last year, book 1, and this is book number 8. We picked this particular one because it actually matches his social studies that he will be studying. Stay tuned for that video. But in here, it's a fun thing. He loves to draw, so he gets to draw, color it, and then there are 4 complete sentences at the bottom of each picture, and that he will use as dictation and copy work. He'll copy it right on his notebook. And yeah, so something fun. He does this every single week. He walks along the book and he does one a week. And they got us almost to the end of the school year. I think he finished his book about 3 weeks before the school year ended. So hopefully this one carries a little longer. I see some more pages in here. We did stop this around the holiday time so that we can do other projects, but this worked all year long. Another thing that I picked up for free was some old highlight magazines. And I would love to get him a subscription to this, but it is over $30 for 1 year. Quite high. I didn't realize magazines will be that high. But to get 4 of them for free, this allows him to have all the joy that we had growing up in the 80s and the 90s with highlights magazines. And so we will sit down and go through this, or he could work with it with his father. And the goal is to pretty much get 1 a month during the school year, and then maybe get it for the rest of the school year with a subscription. So we were glad to get these for free. That is his core, guys. That is everything that he'll be learning from language arts and mathematics, all kind of books and projects. His Matthew C blocks are from last year, so that's already on the shelf. But this should walk him through a little bit of handwriting, his language arts books, stories that will read to him for fun, either morning or night, and also some stories that he needs to learn to read through to strengthen his reading skills. So what is your child's core for the year? How are you implementing? Are you big on books and stories? Does your children like to draw? Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below and let me know what your children love to get into. And then stay tuned because we'll talk about what we do before we start today, Father Friday, social studies, and science. So those 4 definitely rule our week. All right, until next time, guys. Stay safe out there. Bye.